Hello, my beautiful Capricorns. This is your reading for June 2021 for the month. It is a hideous day outside. That is why it looks like nighttime, even though it's broad daylight. But it's kind of nice for doing a reading in these gloomy situations. It always reminds me of one time when I was a kid and we were having a seance. We were all very serious about it. And a window blew out, and it was just like something out of a movie. Zillions of little shards of glass flinging through the air. It was quite something. I'm sure it had something to do with our collective, perfectly pure belief when we were all 12. Anyway, not only am I going to do this reading for you, I know it's kind of the same as I did for the last weekly reading, but what can I say? I'm kind of into the 2-deck thing. I'm kind of loving it because then, if something really wants to pop out, it can pop out double, which I'm totally into. But what I'm going to do is an extended reading that you can click on if you want to see a little bit more at the end of this reading, which is going to be with the Druid Craft Tarot. I also have a double deck of that. And some of the cards are read the same, the normal way, basically, but they also have a lot of really super specific additional meanings. So I'm going to just read it right out of the book for you because I'm not super experienced with that deck or with their book and stuff like that. So it'll be kind of like a really cool experiment. You guys can tell me if it's really accurate, those additional meanings and stuff. I will let you know what I would call the norm, and then maybe this will be a really great expansion to the stuff I already know and that you already know, and maybe we'll learn something new with that deck, and it'll be fun. But anyway, also my email is below. You can send me your questions. You can send me if you want me to use any specific cards, if you want me to do any kind of certain readings or spreads or things like that. So feel free to get your opinion out there, or just post me a comment and I'll try to make it happen for you. Okay, so we're just going to pull 12 cards. Nice way to start, my darling Capricorns. I have some very important Capricorns in my life. This is making me happy. A lot of good stuff. I have a feeling this is going to be a very nice reading. Yes, we're almost there. Oh yes, no frickin' 10 of Swords or the 3 of Swords or the stupid 8 of Swords that has been coming up constantly, and I'm so sick of them. This is a much better reading. I can take a little breath. Now, the devil's not always perfect, but sometimes he's just kind of a warning telling us don't indulge in too much of this or that. Kind of like Temperance comes in to say purify yourself, don't do this, don't do that, walk the middle line, don't be so extreme. Well, the devil is here to say anything that you're chained to, don't do that. So if you're an alcoholic, or even if you're not an alcoholic but you drink a bit too much, maybe scale that back a little bit. Too much smoking, too much drinking, too much shopping, too much hoarding, too much obsessing, too much treating yourself poorly, too much of anything that is not good for you, too much junk food, too much, not exercising, too much, I hate to say it, but too much internet, right? I mean, that is the fact. If you sit there catatonically all the time and don't cultivate your mind, you could be on that internet doing something that teaches you something also. Let's be honest here. Too much of anything tends not to be good, but if you're doing something, make the best choices you can. And don't be chained to anything. And actually, they're not chained. It's all us. We have the power. So, goodbye, Mr. Devil. You're out. I mean, he's not really out, but he's getting pushed over to the side because we're done with him. Okay, so what's the best thing to tackle next? Death. So this does not mean you're going to die. In fact, you're not. Well, I mean, that's a lie. You are going to die at some point in life, but not this sec. Right now, we are in the mode of living, And you are going to be changing. You are going to undergo massive change in the next while. You are going to create the massive change, actually. There will be massive societal change, but you are going to actually create the massive change, which is very exciting. And I will show you why. Because you are going to put some really cool stuff into action. Really cool stuff into action. Let's do our swords together. And you guys love your pentacles, so let's do that together. Okay. This is a different reading. I mean, I get some readings the same over and over and over and over and over and over and over. This one's kind of a different reading, so I'm kind of in. This is a wonderful card, and it is not a scary card, although it looks like a guy is on a coffin, which he actually is. It does not mean anyone's dying, but I'm going to tell you an interesting story. If you've watched me before, you might have already heard this story. My mother was a tarot card reader, and whenever she pulled this card, somebody died. So she would even look at this card and she would be afraid. I mean, she was petrified of pulling this card. I pull this card all the time. Nobody dies. The card doesn't even mean that anybody's going to die, so it shouldn't do that. It is a card of, in medieval times, the knights would go out and fight a battle, and trust me, they didn't usually come back alive. They already had a coffin made for them, because in the event of their death, they would need that old coffin. So when they did, glory be, come home alive, they would go to the coffin, and they would either lie on top of it or inside of it, and they would meditate and think about, wow, I'm actually still here. What am I going to do with the rest of my life? So it is actually a very, very positive card. It's a great card. It's a card of meditation, of reflection, of planning, of, you know, your thoughts being very important, what you're going to do with those thoughts, what you're going to do with your ideas, and what's going to happen next for you. It's all about you. Reflection, good stuff, good positive stuff. And this card can be good or bad depending on what it's about. Sometimes we call it the sore winner card. It looks like somebody's fought some kind of a battle here, and he's standing here collecting up the swords. So he's definitely in the power position. So it depends on who this fight is against. If this fight is against somebody who deserves to be, you know, kicked in the butt, great, and be smug as you like, no problem. But if this fight is against somebody you love and who you don't always want to have be an adversary, then maybe it's time to put some thought into this procedure. You know, maybe it's about your love relationship. When you are lovers, you don't want to be adversaries. When you are lovers, you don't want to be in competition with each other. That doesn't work. This is the antithesis of competition. It's supposed to be support of each other. It's supposed to be we hold each other up, okay? So even if you're the winner, maybe in the couple you're the more intelligent person. Maybe you're the one who's better at verbal sparring. You know, somebody usually is better. They're usually not equals in this department. And if they are, that can even be worse in some ways, because then everybody's going to like take it to the end. But, you know, the question is, do you want to get the better of the person that you're doing this with? If it's your child, do you want to always win the argument? Maybe not. Maybe not, because you're formulating other people by doing this. So just think about it. I'm not trying to put too fine a point on it. Maybe there is a reason. Maybe it's fine and good. If it's some jerk who deserves it. Then we've got the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is not dissimilar to the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is somebody looking at their world, you, and figuring out what the next step is. Well, the Three of Wands is very similar. It's all about putting things into action when it comes to wands. New growth, new life, new projects, new things. But it's looking back to the past to figure out where you've been. And it's looking to the future to figure out where you're going. It's very important to do this on a regular basis, this continual evaluating, this continual, you know, making choices about what's next on the horizon. And that's what is happening here. This is what you're doing. Now, what's happening here is you are doing things. You are already in action. You are working hard. But you're either working too hard on something in the sense that it's kind of inefficient, or you've just got way too many damn tasks. Look at this guy carrying all these wands right in front of his face. This is not working well. Maybe you need to ask for help. Maybe you need to not take on so much. Maybe you need to change your attitude. Maybe you need to be more efficient in the way you do it. Something has to give. Maybe it's just don't take on so much. Yeah, I know you want to be a star, but you also want to be good at it. You don't have to struggle to this level. Maybe it's getting up an hour earlier and doing a little less over a longer course of time instead of trying to do it all in this tiny time frame. There is a way to improve this. This is not hopeless in any way. You can figure it out. Then we've got the Queen of Wands. Or pardon me, not the Queen, the King. This is obviously a king. And he can be a real person that you know. And if he is, he's a fire sign. Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo. And he is a very active person, somebody who's good at putting things into action, somebody who's had great success in this department, somebody who's very strong and brave and powerful and active and physical. Social also. So if you need help doing this, maybe you want to get his advice. Is it your dad? Utilize your dad. He'll probably love to help. Or your brother or your friend or whomever this is. Maybe get them on board with helping you get your projects off the ground, or maybe some help with this struggle. You'd be surprised. It's great to go it alone, but you deserve help just as much as anybody else. So take it if you can get it. The Lovers. The Lovers is such a beautiful card. This is a card of passion, of intense love. It is not this. I've heard so many people read this as just any union of two people. I'm sorry, I will argue that to the death. This is lovers, okay? It's nothing else. It's not a business. It's two lovers. This is something very special and magical and very positive. It's not surrounded by anything bad. The only thing I would be concerned about is that if this mental jousting or fighting or whatever is with your lover, I would definitely find a way to change this, because this is not worth it. Not with this person. Unless they're not a great person, and in which case they should not be your lover. So figure that one out. But you guys are kind of brilliant, so I'm sure you can do that. Then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Something fated, F-A-T-E-D. I usually find this card to mean great luck, and when I see this card among all of this other stuff, I'm feeling really positive about the card. Something good is going to happen. You're going to do something with this Magician. You're going to put something good into action. You've got the power. The Magician's power is unlike all other power. The Magician's power is the power of the universe is at your disposal. And you've got all the suits of the tarot cards, and you've got all the power of the universe, and the universe has you, and you have the universe. And you're going to combine that power, and you're going to create whatever you want to make happen. So there's going to be all this fabulous change. This change is going to be very good, and it's going to bring you luck and all kinds of great things. I feel absolutely rock solid about that. Then we've got this card, which means that you are investing in your future. You're going to have money. You're going to have security. You're going to have the kind of situation where you can share with others if that's what you're into. You can help others. You have opportunity. You can create opportunity. You can invest more. You can do all kinds of things. This is a power card. It's very good. When I say a power card, I don't mean like the Magician where you can create anything. It is the culmination of many things that you have set in motion over time. Very nice card. And this card is not dissimilar. This card, the Ten of Pentacles, is all about having a wonderful, secure situation. Family all around, longevity, money to do whatever you want to do. Everything is in place. Everything is complete. Everything is all about your personal security. You've got it all, basically. So this is a fascinating spread. I would concentrate strongly on the fact that you have the Magician, and the Magician can create all of this, anything you want. I would concentrate strongly on the Lovers. This is very important. It is important to remember you have great power in this relationship. Great, great power. So wield that power wisely. Don't be, a bit of a tyrant in there. And remember you are lucky and that you've got all this good stuff going for you and that there's going to be immense change and things are going to get really great for you. I feel 100% on that, Capricorn. I really, really do. The Devil is a Capricorn card, by the way. So it kind of pops up a lot. And you guys are very hard on yourselves. So I'm just going to throw this out there and say stop that. Don't be depressed. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't put unnecessary things on yourself, like, oh, if I don't do this in this time frame, all hell's going to break loose. That is not true. That is not true. Nothing horrible will happen. Just do it as you can. You are good at it, so just do it and stop beating yourself up, okay? I like the reading. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful month. Please let me know how it goes, and like I say, if you want to try that other reading I'm going to add for an extra, go for it and take care, and I hope to talk to you soon.